So, it is the next day, and I don't see said vehicle of the chick that I was talking about yesterday, and I see that my upload is not uploading. So, yeah, but pretty much a quick summary of what I said yesterday. There was a girl, a black female, uh, in a state that has a city that's intersecting it. Three different states intersecting the city. So if you can guess by what I said, by just saying that, then you know where exactly this had occurred. And this is in the South, or what's considered the South or the East Coast or whatever. Um, Basically, it was a black girl, uh, attractive body, okay face, a little afro type bun in the back, uh, Thickums, who I guess rented a vehicle from said individual, and either she had money at the time, and thus I guess she ran out of money, and her location that she ended up was over here in the area where I'm currently at. And she was at the park, and I seen her a few times, and I guess she was trying to evade the owner or the person who she rented it from due to her no longer having any funds. Now, I assume this due to the conversation that I overheard them. I was parked pretty close, and so as they got out to speak to her, they were talking, but they weren't talking about the ordeal about the vehicle. Uh, the individual who popped out, who wasn't the one renting the vehicle, the dude who was driving the truck, talked in a way as if they were trying to get something out of her, but not sure if she had money or not. So it was almost as trying to show interest. And then as time went on, I looked back to notice that, and then they noticed me observing, and then all of a sudden the conversation changed like that about now she can't be in the vehicle anymore. They need it back, and asking her if she knows anybody in the area or knows anybody or has anybody to call. She basically told them she has nobody. And as I said in those videos, never tell, especially if you're a black female, never tell any white male that you have nobody, because by all means they do want to fuck y'all. I'm not gonna lie to you. A bunch of races want to fuck you. This is why they set up the society, black society as it is. The state in which we're at is due to them basically disrupting our traditional or community so that they can have free access to women and black women, and especially if a black woman's in desperation And due to what black women have been doing over these years of pushing black men away and doing all this, thus, you get this. But anyway, she seemed like she didn't have any funds, and due to her telling them she didn't have anybody nearby because they had offered her to drive her or put a little bit of gas in there to get her to some location, but she didn't have anybody. And then these two white dudes then said, well, we can either get you to a hotel. Then once again, it seemed like she responded back in some way that indicated that she didn't have money for a hotel. So pretty much she just had the gas that was left in that rental car, that Volkswagen. And then from there, the next thing they pretty much said to her was like, oh, I work hard for my money, so I can't let you blah 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 have the car, basically, in so many words. And then this is when the one dude who was renting it said something that I knew that it was gonna be one of those porn type setups, where he was like, well, I don't want to leave you in this out here and just strand you. So he offered to take her to Walmart or drive her to a Walmart. And I'm overhearing this, and for a time period, they just pause. This dude was hovering over her vehicle, well, his vehicle, hovering over the vehicle, over the driver's side, looking down at her. So, and based off what I saw once she had got out, I saw what she was wearing. So then it was like, okay, something's about to happen. And at that moment, I felt I should have just got out and said, offered my thing. I should have said, hey, you can stay with me or come with me. And then finally, the dude then says, hell, we'll take you to Walmart. You can get out and get in the passenger side, and I'll get in the driver's side. And said you can get your stuff out of the car and whatnot. And so when they did that and she got out, then that's when I saw her body, and I was like, wow. Her face was mediocre, but her body was great. And then they hopped in the vehicle, drove off, and I waited a while. I was going to follow, but I waited a while. Then I went to the Walmart and I proceeded to drive by, and I saw the dude in the Volkswagen. She wasn't in there, but the only thing is I didn't see her walking along a Walmart or with any type of luggage. I didn't see her at all. And all I could remember is he had his friend who was following about behind him, who was in this type of outfit where it showed a lot of his body and whatnot. And the earlier conversation in which he had with her that all of a sudden changed when I was looking and staring. Um, then what my assumption is that most likely he dropped her off, and due to you don't know anybody, and people who are at Walmart wouldn't know the situation either. So I assume that they one vehicle drove up to Walmart, dropped her off. She didn't probably get her stuff out because it would have took a while, assuming she had a lot of stuff in there, since she was living out of the vehicle. And you would see her standing, and I assume the truck then would had came second and then just picked her up, and then they took her off, and that was it. That was the last I seen of her. So I'm assuming either she turned a trick that night, and that's the only assumption I could come up with, because she had no money to do anything with, and then she told them that she had nobody. And like I say, black women, when it comes to other races, never tell another race that you got nobody. It's okay to tell your own racial group, especially if they're a black American. A black American man would then either want to help out in some way, because it's innate in us to protect our own group of women. But you you have done these things that just make us say, okay, we're gonna step back, we're gonna allow you to do whatever and be on your own, and see how that does. Because the disrespect, the this and that, the choosing to see us as invisible, blah blah blah. But anyway, that's after that, my assumption is that she hopped back in the vehicle, but with the guy in the truck. They took her somewhere, and thus probably, did the Pornhub exclusive with her. And I said, if the next day, which is the next day, if I wake up and I end up seeing her in the vehicle and back over here at the park, then that means that she possibly did the do just to have a couple more days in the vehicle, or got recorded to have a couple more days in the vehicle. But she's not here. I did not see the vehicle. Either that I didn't see anything. So that could mean that either they still got her and she could be in their place, just two white dudes. So I don't know what they're. I know what was gonna happen. We already know these stories. We know these stories due to the adoption rate, whenever other races adopt our race, and what ends up happening to those adopted kids, because those adopted kids later on come out with stories of them being molested or sexually abused, basically raped, by their adopters, their non-black adopters. And especially in situations where other races will have a power over an individual. Now, I gave you a perfect example of something like this occurring, and it's on my channel, of the girl who was renting out the house, and because she didn't manage her money correctly, or thought to think that, hey, I need to save money so I can have rent for this house that I'm trying to own, or I'm renting out, or and so her homeowner, who was an old white man, came and then found out that that was the case. And so he hinted at some sexual type favor. And what happened? She ended up, and she was a young black female, had a nice body. She was the slim, thick, nice face. And this one that I saw here was a young black female. She was a little bit more thicker, but it was a nice, where it's no like gut, barely any gut type, thick and very curvaceous and tight in the waist and blah 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 and big. Anyway, in that situation, she ended up having sex with this white dude, the landlord, in order to prolong the period in which she could then pay him later. Find out on the video, if you watch my video, because other people have posted this video on YouTube, but they didn't put the full thing, and they made it seem like she was somewhat the victim, and she didn't blah, blah, blah. But you then get the full story, which I post the full story. And you find out that she did this 2 times, or this was like her third time. And the third time was the time period where she decided to do this recording, because she was tired of what she said. She was tired of being slutted out. And ultimately, she didn't have to be slutted out. She could have denied it and then tried to come up with the money. If he had kicked her out, she would have had a grace period, but she would have probably had to pay more. But she would have had a grace period to make that money and pay it. Or she could have found a black man, got with a black man, and then did a combined income. And this is the thing that so many of the problems that are happening to our group, so many of the traumas that are happening to the kids, the children, boys and girls that become men and women nowadays, are due to, it's it's no longer just due to women. Can't blame it on men. It is solely due on women. And every time I think of all the situations, the common denominator always boils down to the women and their choices and what they do when they know the right choices to make, but they choose not to make them. And so, as you can see in the video, she then lets off that she had sex with them multiple times. And then she used that to try to threaten him, blah, 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 so that she can, get out of possibly having to do it again. But like I said, I haven't found an update. And for anybody who sees that video, if you know this female or seen her, give an update. Tell us the update. Is she still at that location? Is she still at that place? Is she still getting fucked by her landlord? Or did she decide that she didn't want to get slutted out and look for a black man to be with? But anyway, this is what I assume that happened with this female that I saw yesterday. So, and I can't do nothing now because it's long gone, and unfortunately I won't be able to find them. I could put out the license plate, which I am probably gonna do that. I'm gonna either post it to something to put out a license plate so that maybe somebody can look her up, find these people who rented out the vehicle to her, and potentially see if she's okay, or see if she, I don't know, see something, find out something. But yeah, and I know putting out the license plate on here can open up to a lot of different things, and a lot of individuals who can be on here who are not per se, trying to help. And I see Frederico said hi, so hi. Sorry I missed it. But yeah, so it hurts me. I am feeling some type of way because as a black man, a black American man, you hate to see your women in this state. You hate to see it, but then you got to let it happen, because ultimately, if you don't, they're going to continue to be uh, irate and belligerent and disrespectful towards us, or choose not to get with the right black man, or choose to do this and that and the third. And it's almost like, and because society, white supremacy basically, has put kind of a cuff on us to put any type of disciplinary action towards our women so that they can respect us in a sense. Because if we can't do it, then they'll continue to do such. And it's been proven. I can go to various lives that I've watched, such as The Business, where there was a woman who literally told the guy that she was talking to, the host on there, that she continued to disrespect this individual, this black man, because she knew she could, even though she knew she shouldn't, but she knew she could because the repercussions are more uh, pinned on him instead of her, because how society wants us to, be the downfall of everything or the backlash to everything. And we're like the punching bag. So the only thing that we could do to try to kind of do a disciplinary action is let things happen, let you go unprotected, and then see how these other groups treat you, how they start acting towards you. Because by all means, just how I, as a black man, feel the need to want to innately protect you, or provide, or help you, other groups possibly feel the same way towards their own racial group of females. When I say white, as for white, I'm not sure. They're wishy-washy, so because they be doing a lot of shit to their own females, and thus, of course, imagine what they do to all the other races of females, especially ours. History has shown this. For all of you who want to think that history didn't happen and still doesn't go on, yes, it does. But they've managed to get our women to think in a hoe and a slut mindset to a point where they don't care about it, and they just think, hey, I'm gonna get this money. I gotta do what I gotta do, while disrespecting their own group. But man, and so if you don't understand that, that if I, in my mind, feel this way, then imagine what they're gonna do when they're done. They've used you up. They If they didn't nut in you and make you a baby mama, or nut in you and you became a divester and their little pet. I look at that. If you guys watched Invincible, and Mark's dad, I forgot his name, uh, called his wife a pet. She was nothing more than a pet. That is no different from what goes on here in the real world. And mind you, I mean, this happens a lot. Now there are one-offs, but this happens a lot, and yet the simple thing to change everything, to make things better, is black women. All y'all have to do is just damn near work with us. Stop trying to go against us. Stop trying to do this. Stop choosing the hoodlums, the ones that you know are bad, but these are the ones you're attracted to. You know the right black man to go for. This black man may not be rich. This black man may not be this, that, and the third, but he's showing these character traits that are telling of that he's willing to have a family, or an intact family, a biologically intact family, not some not some bull crap, not some other type stuff. I want to say shit. And y'all know which ones to choose, but yet you continue to either evade, disregard, look at them sideways, not give them the opportunity, not give them the chance, mean mug them, but you're willing and ready to go after those other ones that you already know is no good, that you've already dealt with, that you've already experienced these same things, or you've heard other black females experience. And there's quite a lot of y'all who've already done the same shit, and yet you repeat. And I guess ultimately, all in all, it's like that one chick said, that y'all just like toxic or negative or bad dudes. And if that's the case, then watch our group continue to plummet and go nowhere. Anyway, I don't know what will happen to her, so I'm I hope that she didn't do what I think she did, but most likely she did. Um, I really want to say the state right now, but I'm gonna hold off until I figure out some things or see before I say that, because ultimately I can't do much. I can't even find them. So, like I said, this location is pretty big, and the area in which she came to, great, but I don't think I'd be able to manage to find her. So yeah. and man, if I did it, it would have been perfect for possible, because she didn't smoke, she didn't do weed. I never really, whenever I saw her at the park, she wasn't out there smoking weed or doing some type of drug. So that was a plus. Because nowadays, like I said, with most black females are smoking weed, doing some type of drug. And by all means, y'all don't realize that y'all who be smelling like weed, y'all be smelling like weed and ass or shit. Like, weed has this mixture of like ass or shit to it. And I've smelt that before. It's bad, and y'all don't realize that shit, but you can, for somebody who has a strong nose and you can smell it, and it's like, damn, like, come on now. Oh man. And I went on some dating sites. I went on BLK, I went on Hinge. Well, on BLK, I realized that a lot of, damn near, I would say 95% of black women in America are damn near bisexuals, lesbians. So it's like, damn, if they're not fucking dudes, then they're getting fucked by chicks or the homegirls or some shit like that. And then most of them are druggies doing drugs. And the ones who are not are way too bougie, or they only give the opportunity to certain groups. And I already said this earlier, is that black females, y'all, literally, you need to fucking change. And I know y'all trying to tell us we need to upgrade, we need to level up, but we've been doing that. And yet you've been getting more fucking hostile, more fucking irate and not wanting to follow. And so now you continue to tell us to improve while you're no longer just taking our lead. And because you're so fucking obsessed with money and so obsessed with material bullshit, you're willing to fucking whore out, slut out, and do all these other things with all these other groups. And it's like, fuck, man. Do you not give a fuck? Do you not care? And the fact that you keep going with the same type of black men, it's like, do you care? Do you care to want to learn? Do you care to want to make our group better? Do you give a fuck at all? And if you don't, fine. Don't give a fuck. Keep doing this bullshit and watch as we plummet, and watch as you yourself start to get affected. And I know what you're going to try to do. You're going to try to basically deassociate yourself, or what is it, detach from yourself or detach from your body, so it's like you're not in the situation, or you're not dealing with whatever's going on. But it doesn't work. It affects the whole, affects everybody. And if you don't care, then honestly, if you don't care, then by all means, make sure that whoever racial group you go to, fucking make sure that your offspring, make sure they don't go back to black. Mate out the fucking black gene. Mate yourself out. Get rid of it completely. Don't ever let any of your children, and that is possible. You can do it. Asians have proven that they can do it, even though now they don't really do it as much because they've been able to build a foundation for their group, even though it's ripping off black people as well. But they've built a foundation for their group, so now they're able to go ahead and be more open about them going for other racial groups or going for black females or whatnot. But if you gonna do it, then just make sure your offspring don't fucking go back to black. Go ahead and mate your offspring completely out. Mate them out so we don't even have them. There'll be less black people. There'll be less black people that have your genetics, have your whatever traits, whatever, deciding to say fuck your own group. Do that and make sure you all made out to whatever group you're trying to get in. So then by the time they get to whatever generation, they no longer have any resemblance of black genetics. Ask Rhonda Rouse. She has an ancestry which leads to black. What was it, Frederick Douglass or something like that, or some famous black man who was like a light or caramel, and so his racial group was already about to bleed out anyway. His bloodline is already bleeding out anyway. So please, by all means, do that. Get rid of, so we don't have none of this anymore. And for the very few, for the ones out there who are just doing this based off the video I made some while back, is a black women, are you just being farm animals? If you want to see that video, I made it. It's a thumbnail of several black females uh, looking like cattle, and with the white farm hand basically breeding you so that they can get more of you black females to have to fuck and do whatever with. So by all means, if that's the case, then shit, go ahead and just get rid of your genetics completely and make sure they're gone. Make sure that you direct them to be gone. And for those of you who or thinking, oh, let me constantly create more for white master so that he can have some more black tang to mess with, or for all these other racial groups to have more black kitty to play with. Motherfucker, I don't know what to say because I can't really stop you. All I can say is for the black men out there who actually give a fuck, be cautious of this. I know we're already over 50% of us are not having children. Let's increase that number to damn near 70 to 80, because unlike our black women, we're actually loyal. We would rather not bring some mixed breed life into this world. We'd rather bring black life into this world, but due to what's going on with our current group, we don't even want, I wouldn't want to even bring black life into this world based off what's going with our current group. That's why I say most majority of the people that you see having kids are pretty much the stupid people, are the people just like, do you not see what is going on? Has that just, have you ignored it and think that nothing's going on? And for the people who believe in black empowerment, yeah, I believed in that at one point. But to believe in it means that you need to have an intact relationship with each other, black women and men together, having families with each other, traditional. And if you don't have that, then doing black empowerment and all this is going to crumble. Having a black economy back when everybody was trying to focus on, oh, we need a black economy, we need this for black empowerment, that shit would crumble if we're not even together. And as you can see, it's getting worse. And the only individuals out here are doing things or having children or thinking that nothing's happening or choosing to ignore all the shit that is happening to our group are the stupid people. Like, what would make you want to bring a black child in this world, especially when black women are so wishy-washy about if they want to remain in a relationship with you, especially if you have a child with them? And then how things are for black children, and the state of how many black children are having to go through trauma, how many black children and black people are going are becoming homeless, having this, we're not even helping each other or not figuring out what would help to make us, get in a better situation. Some of us are not even getting those basic needs, and this is me constantly promoting my other videos outside of the stupid ass pop my balloon video. I'm done kind of doing that shit over and over. I would talk about it, but I'll make it for another live. But like my video for why men are giving up, specifically why black men are giving up nowadays, because we're not able to even get the basic things. And due to not being able just to get the basic things, you'll see a lot of us just say, fuck it. We'll start living out our cars. We'll start going homeless. We'll stop working. We'll stop doing this and that and the third. Some of us will then decide, hey, go overseas, live overseas, leave America. While, of course, the others, black females, while, of course, the others for y'all, they're still getting the fuck y'all, and y'all still choosing up on them. For the black men who are staying back in the time period where it was whole, y'all were threatening the black men who were, supposedly becoming the passport bros, but it was like a empty threat because ultimately you're threatening them that you're not going to give them anything or not going to give them a time of day, but you weren't giving them the time of day to begin with. So it was an empty threat. I can see if you were giving them something to begin with, then you saying that would be a threat. So then they would stop. But then if you were giving the black men, us out here, the ones that are invisible, you were giving us something, then of course we would have never gotten to this situation in the first place. There would have been nothing about the passport bros would have never occurred or been talked about or said. Passport passport men were always known back in the day, but it only got popular because us as black men decided to take it on due to what was happening out here and still going on and getting worse. Like I said, I was walking and I was going to talk to this one black female, but the look in which she gave, it was it's like, don't bother me, mean mug. Do you think that you worth talking to me type shit? You're not worth my presence type shit. And it's like damn. But anyway, I think that's it because I don't know if this takes forever to upload. So I'm going to stop, try to see if this uploads this time. So yeah, until next, which I'll do another live later on today. And I'll try to acknowledge the people in the chat.